It is live. You're good? Welcome, guys. We're going to do week 1 recap of SuperBad, and then we're going to follow that up with a week 2 preview. And that's basically it. You've all seen these videos before. We're going to try to do them a lot more consistently throughout the year here. So let's turn it over to Mike. Mike, go for it.
Yeah, so happy to be back. Sorry, we're not going to slack as I promised, because there's a lot less going on. We owe to bring these to you. So we're going to start off with a preview, a recap of the week 1 action. And the first game that Jeff is actually going to talk about is the game against the Brady NATOs, or Jim's team. But before we begin, I just want to give a background as to why my team name is 216 times. So when Jeff references 216 times, you understand why. So as you guys know, Jeff is a big swinging dick in the endurance community. You know, he's an Ironman many times over, Boston qualifier, ultra runner. Pretty much, you know, he's, too cool for school. But anyway, earlier this year, Jeff was actually interviewed because he won one of these crazy ultra marathon races, like 100, was it 100K or 100 miler? Was it 100 miler?
50K.
Oh, 50K. Still way more than I'm ever going to run in my entire life. And he did it in like one day because he's an idiot. So anyway, Jeff ended up winning the damn thing. So this ultra marathon guy, Jeff, for his podcast. During the course of a 30-minute conversation with this dude, used the words, 216 times in less than 30 minutes. It was hysterical. And yes, I am that much of a loser that after I noticed the trend, I rewound the podcast and sat there and checked the box every time he used it. You know. Hey, man, that's great, So then I was doing this, Yes, 216 times is what I tallied, give or take. So in honor of this stupendous achievement, which is probably more impressive than him actually winning a 50K, because it actually takes skill to use the term that many times in 30 minutes, I decided to honor him thusly with the team name of 216 times. So, Jeff, why don't you take it away with your recap of my wonderful defeat?
That's great, man. And I am honored to be named after your team name, even though I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about when I saw 216. But yes, I won the race, and then I fucking shit all over myself in an interview. It was glorious. So
I will send a link for everybody to watch later on.
That's great of you, man. All right, so we're gonna start the first recap, and it was shit. My phone's dying here as Mike talks so fucking long. First one is 216 times versus the Brady NATOs versus Jim's team, and 216 times got his ass whooped. The Brady NATOs just came in strong. Matt Forte dropping 28 points. Julio Jones just destroyed him, even though Jim started Mike Evans, which, God, dude, you even fucking watch football? Like, seriously. Like, we all knew he was out for like a week. Mike Evans didn't play, I should say. And then he had a couple big games from Brandon Marshall. Then Mike with his Travis Kelce 31 points. He left that freaking got that type of performance and lost still. But I think the most interesting thing was that Mike started freaking Melvin Gordon. Like, really, dude? Like, Melvin Gordon? Like, what do you have? Like, he had like 2 carries in preseason or something, and Danny Woodhead came in and killed it all. So this one went about as it should. Like, looking at the rosters, like, Jim should have beat the shit out of Mike, and he aptly did. So, all right, the next one is – oh, you know what the next one is.
The next one is anal stimulation versus L champion. So King should be a hell of a lot better than it is because of all the high draft picks he had. Reigning champ, our boy here, the the champion, Jeff. So anyway, looking at this, Kane absolutely wiped the floor with you. This was not even a close game. You got beat by I don't know how many points here. I can't do the math, but that looks by a 40-point margin of victory.
That's
Kane was led by an
40 points there, Matt.
Yeah. Unbelievable performance from Carlos Hyde, 33 points. This is the same Carlos Hyde that Kane told me was not a keeper coming into this year. But, yeah, it tells you better lucky than good sometimes, I guess, for Kane. Average performance of 24 points from Aaron Rodgers. And yet his idiot kicker, Cody Parkey, shit the bed for the Eagles, only 5 points. But Kane didn't really need it because basically he could have started Mike Evans and still won this game, just like Jim. So Jeff was really let down by his performance from his tight end. He got a whopping 2 points from Owen Daniels and a 0-point performance from his defensive line, Mario Williams, who must be a better real-life player than fantasy because, God, he sucked. But looking at this, yeah, Jeff, I just don't see you repeating this year. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, it's tough. Didn't have a draft pick to the 4th round, but still a competitive team as I outscored 6 other guys. So, but
yeah,
Kane seems like.
Right. I think this is a one-off for Kane anyway. I mean, with this roster, it's very average for considering what he actually did in the draft. So I think this was just one of those ones where every hit, he'll never have a week.
Well, I think you misspoke there. It's actually appropriate for what he did in the draft, the roster, because, he pretty much shit the bed during the draft with all those draft picks. So this will be, he led the league in scoring this week, and that will probably be the one time he does it. And as we all know, week 1's fluky anyways. Kane, that was a lucky win, I guess. You had some good performances, but it's not repeatable looking at that. You basically just put together a Philadelphia Eagles roster, you fucking homer. So, all right, next one, Mike. You doing the next one?
Yeah, the next one is Adam's team versus GTFO Troll. I mean, John, that would go, but it's cool, man. I guess they still use it on the line on Facebook, so it must be cool.
Yeah, what does that even mean? Do you know what that means? That
I don't know. I had an Urban Dictionary, and it's like or something.
Fuck off. Go the fuck off. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. It's overdone.
Yeah, John's very street, though. He's very street. So maybe, who knows?
Yeah, he got Bird, West Side, all that stuff. So
sideways, the white beater. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, this one, the event out behind the woodshed and just like a redheaded stepchild, and which is appropriate because we're talking about adopted John. So anyway, Adam got a great performance from DeAndre Hopkins, who benefited from the Ryan Mallett, and just his weakest performer was either he got nothing from his defensive back. That was awful. And Justin for like that. I think it's over. The dream is over with Peyton. It's over. And good on John to actually draft him. I think John picked up like Mariota or something this week, so he's moving on too. But John just had not a lot of great performances. His biggest performer was Kozlowski or what, the linebacker who gave him 20. This is a rock would have about 5 years ago, but now it's just like, really, you draft these guys? I don't even know what he's doing. But, all right, you got the next one, I think, big guy.
All right, yeah, we have the Divine Beckhams versus Girls Gone Wild. So Justin versus Wilds, or Wildies, as you guys know him as. This was just ugly. 113 to 106. Like, Weller pulled a Weller. Like, I don't know if Justin knows that, but for years, like, we've all been playing fantasy sports now for like 15 years, and we call, whenever a team wins with a really low score, we call it a Weller. And Weller pulled a Weller. He went back to his namesake, and that's what he did. Like, so he was the ninth. Wilds had the honor of holding to 106, which is the lowest score in the league this week. and Weller had the second lowest score and still got a win. So that's fantasy football there too.
Yeah.
But
this was like two special ed kids fighting each other. There are no winners.
It's ugly to watch too, like old people fucking, dude. It was bad. And look on tape, like Weller actually has a decent looking team on paper here with, Andrew Luck, Lamar Miller, Chris Ivory, Odell Beckham, Julian Edelman, Olsen. He's got the Levante David. He's loaded, but the week one's fluky. He did win. He probably should have won because Wilds had like the worst keeper selections I've ever seen in my life. Like he was like, dude, if this guy is drafted in the 8th round of a regular football league, I am going to make him a keeper. So that's what happened. But he has Alshon Jeffries and Alshon Jeffries, so he's got that going for him. So, but yeah, I'm thinking Wilds might be hitting that lowest score of the in the league record quite a bit this year, I should say. So, but I think Weller started Steve Smith. I think I take back everything he said. Let's go take the 100-year-old receiver and throw him on my roster in week 1. That's good way to go. So, all right. Next one.
All right. The last game was Sean with his incredibly long and winded title versus Chris Martin, Flashcock. And, the Flashcock got just absolutely – he needed Viagra this week, I'll tell you that. He just didn't he just didn't get up. He didn't get up for the game. Sean wiped the floor 30, another 40-some point victory. Sean was led by a long tight end performance by Tyler Eifert with 32 points, and then the highest scorer in the league this year, J.J. Watt at 34.5. Chris pretty much saw the writing on the wall with that lamentful text message questioning the scoring. I think he wanted us to maybe adjust the scoring so maybe he could make it more respectable with the ass whipping this week. Only production really came from the Gronkosaurus. We dropped 32 points, which was basically matched by Eifert anyway. But yeah, I mean, just looking at this roster, you got to wonder where the production is going to come from Chris's team. C.J. Anderson, Doug Martin, Charles. He actually started Charles Johnson from Minnesota, which is he's on everybody's breakout sleeper list, but that's not a guy you start week 1.
That made Steve Smith look like a great play. Really did.
It was bad. Games against Weller, because Weller and Wilds aren't going to score any points, so Gronk might be able to keep him competitive. But yeah, he needs to make some moves here. But off to a strong start. 3 more weeks, he'll end up forgetting about the league, and then he'll end up punting. Sean's kind of like our taco from the league. Sean's kind of like, except without the weed. He's kind of like the guy that just doesn't set his lineup. By about week 4, he's traveling. We even forget he's in the league, and then all of a sudden he's pops up. And it's, he's probably the taco of the league. But God damn it, he's struck gold first week, so you got to tip your cap to him. So that's a recap of week 1. Let's look ahead to week 2. What do we got to look up for here? Let's pull up the schedule for week 2. So week 2 right now is the first game is actually me versus the Flashcock. So maybe Chris will take his Viagra this week and get it up. What do you think?
Yeah, let's see here. Going over. Okay, we got what is this? Brady versus Bradford, and then your whole shit squad of running backs, including D'Angelo Williams and Bishop Sankey. That's going to work out well for you. But luckily, Chris has C.J. Anderson walking around on one leg and Doug Martin being Doug Martin, which is, I mean, fucking, he's just – that guy's been caused more disappointment in my fantasy life than possibly any other player in the history of football. I keep going back to that Doug Martin. Well, fuck you, Doug Martin. And then you get the Charles Johnson going out. I looked at that first. I said, oh, Charles Johnson from Detroit. And then I realized it wasn't Calvin Johnson. They're playing Detroit. So I can't believe I'm going to say this, but looking at the rosters, I really think that the UNOs are going to win rather easily. Unless Chris has had some waiver claims, which he picks up and makes some changes. Or Gronk goes off for like 7 touchdowns. That's about the only way he's going to win. That's it, And this will also be the day It's week 2, so Bradford's leg is probably going to snap in half by the second quarter this week. So that's another negative for him. So yeah, I'm putting my money on the 216 times.
Yeah. All right. Second game is Sean Dehaney and Kane. So the 4 rings and Spygate, Deflategate, and Suck It Tom Brady versus anal stimulation. Got a matchup here. This should be an interesting game. Kane hasn't set his lineup yet, so he's missing some players. But on paper, you got the Big Ben versus Aaron Rodgers matchup. Rodgers going against the Seahawks secondary. I'm a little wary about his production this week. Of course, he's got Carlos Hyde going against the Steelers, and we know they can't stop anybody on defense. So he's probably going to get another strong performance from him. DeMarco Murray and going against his former Cowboys team, he's going to have a big game, a revenge game. And Jamal Charles against the Broncos. These are good matchups. Kane, A.J. Green, Jordan Matthews. He's got some good matchups on paper. Looking at Sean, Big Ben versus the Niners, probably okay. It's hard to say with Latavius Murray going against that Ravens defense. They can defend the run, as we saw. I don't see him getting a lot of points from there. And Joseph Randle, it's like which Cowboys running back this week is going to get the touches. This has got to be a concerning area for Sean. And he's still got T.Y. Hilton in his lineup, which, unless he's wild, hopefully he won't start him. Jim, hopefully he won't start him. But, yeah, I'm going to give the edge slightly to Kane. But, again, with J.J. Watt, he's a game changer for Sean. He can keep him in a game. So I'm going to give a slight edge here to Kane. Slight edge begrudgingly, but I think Kane takes the victory here.
All right, the next one up is the Mike Law continues to be a welcher. Adam versus Weller. And just looking at this one on paper here. Andrew Luck's looking for a bounce back week for Weller, but going against that Jet secondary, it may be tough for him. I think I don't know if you guys watched that Indy game, but my God, that Indy offensive line is ass. Like, they just suck. But then again, Adam's throwing Ryan Tannehill at him too, which, this guy's got a noodle arm, but he is playing Jacksonville. So I'm actually going to give Adam the edge there. Adam's got some decent running backs with Jeremy Hill and Justin Forsett having really good matchups. But you know what? So does Weller. Look at these guys. Both of these teams may actually throw down some points. And Weller went ahead and replaced 78-year-old Steve Smith with 72-year-old Roddy White. So he is bringing down the average age of his receiving core. So would have an advantage there. So good on that. And then tight ends, Jimmy Graham versus Greg Olsen. So they're both very solid matchups. They have both good defensive players. This is going to be a close one, I think. But based on the Andrew Luck matchup, I'd probably say Adam's got a slight advantage. But, it's pretty much a coin flip. So next one, Mike.
The next one is you versus Jim. And hopefully Jim decides to get online sometime this century and take Mike Evans out of his lineup, who is still currently
on the line. Yeah, get on the line.
He needs to go on the line and set his lineup or something. Look at this. And Matt Ryan looked in the first week. It's hard to say that Jim won't be in with a shout every week just on that connection. However, I just don't know if can I'm looking at this going, Julio's already listed as questionable. So, that's a shot. Evans is still questionable. And he's still got Rashad Jennings, who, he's still running on one leg. He'll be hurt. It's week 2. He'll be hurt again before you know it. Whereas with you, looks banged up, but you've got some depth at running backs. Antonio Brown, Randall Cobb, they're a great matchup with that Eagles secondary. I'm going to give you a slight edge in this game, but if Jim actually decides to get on the line and set a lineup, this might be too close to call. Jeff, you there, brother? We got one more game.
We got a little bit of lag there, but hopefully it doesn't. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't carry over. But all right, the last one is Wilds versus Adopted John, Wife Beater John, Street John. I don't know what we call him, man. What is it? But dude, John Rowland with Peyton Manning in the starting lineup. That's another. I don't know if any of you guys watched that game either. Wow, like Peyton Manning just got old. Sort of like when my dad quit working. You know, he like had his job. He was vibrant, funny, and then he like retired. And then a week later, he was like sitting in the basement, just like, you know, blah blah blah. You know, that's what happened to Peyton.
Got the tin hat on. He's thinking aliens are coming now.
Yeah, but Peyton Manning did it on the job, and we all witnessed it. Started last year, and then this year, I'm like, wow, like I swear to God, dude can't throw the ball anymore, man. It was awful to watch, and you know, on paper, John put together a good looking team, but then like things like old age happen, which you know Weller knows all about in his receiving course. So, but. And then we got Drew Brees. Oh, my God, it's another old guy. Did you guys watch that? I don't think he threw a ball over 4 yards last week. You know, his running backs had like 10 catches, 12 catches. It was ridiculous. Like Brandon Cooks is standing there going like, hey, dude, I'm here. I'm open. 8 yards downfield. It was bad as well. So both of those guys are going to, you know, hobble, you know, with their fucking walkers and canes. They're putting up like 8 points each. And then and then Wilds is throwing the Frank Gore, Tevin Coleman combo, which is the 1-2 punch of running backs. We all know. Yeah, this one's going to be – even with Peyton Manning being old, John's going to win this one in a walk-away probably here with Demaryius Thomas, Keenan Allen, Ingram, Peterson, Lynch. He's got a deep-ass team, dude. I didn't even realize that whenever he was drafted. Cortelius Bennett. Yeah, this is going to be a woodshed game right here. I think John's going to take Matt behind the woodshed and just smack him around a little bit. But that's pretty much it for me. That's it for this predictions, man. We got anything else, Mike? We get
just just looking forward to week 2, getting on the winning side of things, and you know, thank you guys for a good start to the season, good draft, and everything else, and looking forward to seeing you guys on the message boards.
Hey, one more thing. If any of you fuckers are playing FanDuel and you want to get in, send me an email. We've been putting together a league each week. It's like $10 entry fee. Like right now we have 10 players in. And it's like top 3 teams play. So if you want a little more action, a little more juice, doing the weekly stuff is based on some of your rosters. You guys need a fucking reset. So anyways, just shoot me an email. Later.